Alright, so this is a review for the unit test. We've got 20 pieces of fruit in a bowl and 9 of them are apples. What percentage of the pieces of fruit in the bowl are apples? So, we've got 9 out of 20. Now, a bunch of different ways to approach this. One of my favorite ways would be to say 20 times 5 is 100. So we multiply 9 times 5 and we get 45. Well, percent is per 100, so that's 45%. Now, we can also do 9 divided by 20. It goes in 0 times, so we put a 0. 20 goes into 90 4 times. 4 times 20 is 80. You can probably hear my son in the background. And so that's 10. Bring down the 0. 20 goes into 100 5 times. And 20 times 5 is 100. And so that's 0.45 times 100. And so that's, we move the decimal 2 times. And so 45%. Okay. We could do a table and say 20, so the number and percent. 20 is 100%. And so what is 9? Well, half, so divide by 2 is 10, which means that's 50. If I divide by 2 again, I get 5. And so that's 10. I divide by 5. I get 1. And that goes in 2 times. And so I want 9. And so I made a mistake here somewhere. Divide by 2. Oh, yep, I found my mistake. Right here. 50 divided by 2 is 25. And so 25 divided by 5 is 5. And so now I want to get to 9. So that's times 9. And so 9 times 5 is 45. Excuse me, sorry. Somebody sprayed something in class on Friday and I've been coughing since, so I apologize. Now, we can also do a tape diagram, if that's better for you. So, we have 20 pieces. And we know that that gets broken up into that's 100%. We want to know how to get that smaller. So we can divide it up and say, well, 20 divided by what? And so 100 divided by, and well, If we cut it into 2 sections, each section's 10. And so that's 50% and 50%. If I cut it into 4 sections, well, now each section's 5. And each of these is 25%. Okay. And so I can't get to 9 from these numbers. So let's split it again and say, let's divide these by 5s. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means each one of these is worth 1. And so each of those is worth 5%. And so 9 of them is 9 times 5. So personally, I would prefer either one of these 2 methods, one of these 3 methods. I think the tape diagram is a little difficult here, but it's your choice. You know, whatever's easiest for you. And we can even do a double number line here if that's your preferred method. Okay. We could sit there and do 20 is 100%. So number, percent, well, 20 divided by 20 is 1. 100 divided by 20 is 5. Well, count by ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay. And so it's your choice. Sorry. Score the Eagles game. Forgot that was on the screen. Okay, select all of the trips that would take 2 hours. Well, if it's 60 miles per hour and you're going 120 miles, well, that's 60 miles in 1 hour. And so in 2 hours, you go 120 miles. So, choice A. If it's 3 miles per hour, 3 miles in 1 hour, and you're 1.5 miles away, then that's going to take half an hour. So it's not B. If you're going 80 miles in 1 hour, and you need to go 160 miles, well, that's times 2, so times 2 will be 2 hours. So, C. So there's 2 answers. Okay. Lynn's family has completed 40% of a trip. They have traveled 40 miles. How far is the trip? Now, again, I prefer a table here. Well, let me rephrase that. I prefer a different web method, but I'm going to start with a table. So I would say percent and miles. So 40% is 40 miles. we want to get to 100%. Well, 40 doesn't go into 100, so I would divide by 2 to get to 20. And so if I divide by 2, I get to 20. Now, 20 times 5 is 100. So if I times 5, I get 100. So 100% is 100 miles. Okay. Now, another way to do this would be if it's 40% of something, we would do 40 times 100 and get 4,000 divided by 40. Well, 40 goes into 4,000. Well, 40 into 40 is 1. And then it goes into 0, 0 times, 0, 0 times, and so 100. And we can do the double number line. Okay, number, percent. So there's 40 and 40. Well, here's 20. And so 20. And so we're counting by 20s. 60, 80, 100. 60, 80, 100. So 100% is 100. And so it's the same idea. Okay. Residents of a small city vote on whether to allow a developer to build a shopping center. The number of votes in favor of the shopping center was 4,000. Against the shopping center was 16,000. So that means the total votes was 4,000 plus 16,000. Or 20,000. So we've got 4,000 over 20,000. And so it's what percent? Well, when we do this division, a simple trick is 0, 0, 0. And so we've got 4 over 20. And so, yeah, what times 20 is 100? Well, that's 5. And so we do times 4. And we get 20. And since it's 20 over 100, that means it's 20%. And again, we can do a table, number, percent. So 20,000 is 100%. And so we want to get down to 4,000. Well, if I divide by 2, and again, you can choose your own numbers here. But if I divide by 2, that's 10,000. And so that's 50%. If I divide by 2 again, that's 5,000. And so 25%. I divide by 5. That's 1,000. And 5. Well, I want to get to 4,000. So I multiply by 4. And so 4 times 5 is 20. And so 20%. Excuse me. Okay. So it takes 5 minutes to download 125 gigabytes of data on a phone. At that rate, how many gigabytes could you download in 3 minutes? Well, again, table, tape diagram, double number line, your choice. Find a unit rate. And so I'll start with a table. Time, gigs. So 5 is 125. I would divide by 5 to get 1, and 5 goes into 125. 2 and 5. Well, since I now know that 1 minute is 25 gigs, I want 3 minutes. Well, 3 times 25 is 75. So 75 gigabytes. Yes, it's spelled wrong there. Yeah. If you do a tape diagram, whole thing equals 125. Well, divide it into 5 sections. Well, we just said 5 sections would be 25 each. Two, three, four, 5. And so 3 sections is what we're looking for. And so that's 75. If you do a double number line, time, gigs, oh, 5, 125. Well, divide by 5, you get 1. Divide by 5, you get 25. So that means 2 is 50. 3 is 75. Okay, for question 6. A grocery store sells 5 avocados for $6. What is the cost of each avocado? So this is just a unit rate question. And again, we can do all the tables and double number lines and all that, but we can also just do 6 divided by 5. Well, 5 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 5 is 5, so we subtract, bring down the 0. 5 goes into 10 2 times, and bring down the 0. Yes, that's a 0. And so that's $1.20. So it's $1.20 for each avocado. Okay. Now, so that's finding the unit rate. Now, and we could have done that for this one and then multiplied by 3. So we could have done, that's what we did right here, and then we could have said times 3. Okay. We could do a table here, but this is the quickest, most efficient way. Okay. Kate has a coin collection. She keeps 9 of the coins in a box, which is only 5% of her entire collection. What is the total number of coins? Okay. So we've got coins and percent. Well, 9 coins is 5%. We want to get to 100%. So times 20 gets me to 100%. So I times by 20, and that gets me 180. So 180 coins. Okay. I could do 9 times 100 is 900 divided by 5. And 5 goes into 40 8 times. And that's 180. Okay. I could do, well, there are 5% is 20. I need 25s to get to 100. So I could do a tape diagram. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, where each one of these has 9.
That's because you put your paintbrush in there with paint on. It's always going to happen because the paintbrush rinses the paint out. I think we should let your pumpkin dry.
And so that's 18.
Now my pumpkin is rainbow.
18.
Do you love my pumpkin? I love your pumpkin.
18.
It's great. After it dries, we'll write
18.
Okay? Okay.
18.
Actually, I won't paint my name on it. I think that we should write your name on it with a Sharpie.
And so that's 36.
And Dada, I don't think do you want my pumpkin?
Yes, I love your pumpkin.
You love it?
Yes, I do.
I need my headphones.
And 72 and 72 is 144 plus 36 is 180.
Dada, we got headphones for me.
You bought headphones? Okay. So Kim rode her bicycle 133 miles in 7 weeks. Same distance each week. Eric rode 108 miles in 9 weeks.
Do you want chicken nuggets?
So this is a multiple choice question on your test, and it asks you to compare what they did each week. So we find a unit rate. So we do 133 divided by 7. The number of miles divided by the number of weeks. 7 goes into 13, 1. Daniel, mommy's asking you a question.
What, Mama? What, Mom? Do you want chicken nuggets? Yeah.
And 7 goes into 63 9 times. So 9 times 7 is 63. So Kim did 19 miles per week. Then we do Eric, 108 divided by 9. Well, 9 goes into 10 one time, as I write the wrong number. And we subtract, and we get 1. Bring down the 8. 9 goes into 18 2 times. Get 0. And so Eric did 12 miles per week. And so Kim rode 7 miles more than... Yes?
Can I write some sakes?
Can you what?
Can I write some sakes?
Can I finish what I'm doing first? More than Eric each week. So Yen's dog eats 8 ounces of dog food each day. Yen bought a 32-ounce bag of dog food. How many 8-ounce servings are there in a 32-ounce bag of dog food? Now, there's 2 different approaches to this. One approach is, since there's 16 ounces in 1 pound, to do 32 times 16. And so 6 times 2 is 12, carry 1. 6 times 3 is 18, and 1 is 19. 1 times 2, 1 times 3, add. That's 11, carry 1, 4, 512. And then do 512 divided by 8, because that's how many ounces of food. Well, 8 goes into 51 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. And that's 3. Bring down the 2. 8 goes into 32 4 times. And so there are 64 servings. Now, the other way is, since there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, that's 2 servings per pound. So 32 times 2 is 64. Either way is acceptable. Now, this is a straight up algebra equation, but we don't need to do algebra to do it. Okay. Sorry, my son is making some noise. Kira studied data collected on the school basketball team for 1 season. She noticed that a player on the team had 15 successful free throws out of 20 attempted free throws. To find the percentage of total free throws attempted by this player that were successful, Kira set up the equivalent ratios below. What are the values for M and N? Well, we're looking for a percentage, basically. So N has to be 100. Because percent per for each cent is 100. So for each 100. So N has to be 100. And so what do we do to 20 to get to 100? Well, we multiply by 5. Since we multiply 20 by 5, we multiply 15 by 5. And so 15 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So M is 75. M equals 75. N equals 100. Okay. So Lynn runs 4 laps around the track in 7 minutes. How many minutes does it take each lap? So, show your work. So, explain. So we do 7 into 4. 7 doesn't go into 4, but it does go into 40. And so that's 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35, with 5 left over. Bring down the 0. 7 goes into 50, 7 times. And so, how many minutes does each lap take? Sorry, my fault. This is the answer to this question. 0.57 laps per minute. This one we have to do the opposite way, because it's how long does each lap take. We do the minutes divided by the laps. And so 4 goes into 7 one time. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into 30 7 times. 2 left over. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So it's 1.75 minutes. If Lynn runs 21 laps at the same rate, how long will it take her? Well, we know that 1 lap takes 1.75 minutes. So, times 21. Well, we can do this, or we can do 1.75 times 10 is 17.5. Now times 2, because 21 is equal to 10 times 2 plus 1. So I multiplied by 10, so now I multiply by 2, and so 2 times 5 is 10, carry 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, carry 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, 1 decimal place, so that's 35 minutes, plus 1 more minute, so I add 1.75, and I get 36.75 minutes. A ship captain is mapping a trip and wants to know the distance the ship will travel over certain time intervals. Assuming the ship travels at a constant speed, how far will the ship travel in 4.5 hours? Well, again, a couple of different ways we can do this. Here's half, and so we want 4.5. So we can just multiply that until we get to 4.5. Or we can do this times 4.5. Or this times 3. Now, for me personally, I would say 1 times 4 is 4 hours. And so 25 times 4 is 100 miles. And then I would add the half hour is 4.5 hours. And so add 12.5 miles for 112.5 miles. Now we could also do 37.5 times 3. Carry 1, that's 21, 22. Carry 2, 9 and 2 is 11. because this times 3 is 4.5.
Daniel, dinner's ready.
Now, what weighs more? A watermelon that's 6.5 kilograms or a baby that weighs 16 pounds? Now, if 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. Well, we already know what that is, so let's change the 16 pounds. So, 16 times 0.45. Now, again, 16 is 10 plus 6. So, we can do 0.45 times 10 and 0.45 times 6. Well, that's 4.5. And 6 times that, well, that's 0, carry 3, 24, 27. 2 decimal places. And so 2.7, that's 6, that's 12, carry 1, and so that's 7.2. And so 7.2 is more, so a baby. Explain your reasoning. £16 at 0.45 kg per pound is 0.45 times 16, which is 7.2 kg. This is more than 6.5 kg than the kg of the watermelon.
Remember I made hot chocolate last time?
Yes, you did. Elena and Jada are 9 miles apart on a path.
I had hot chocolate 2 times our room house in our old house.
Yep. Elena and Jada are 9 miles apart on a path when they start moving towards each other. So Elena, Jada.
Can I have enough waves on Video Game Heroes?
Yes, give me a minute, honey.
You can use your phone.
I will try. So Elena runs at 4 miles per hour and Jada walks at 2 miles per hour. So that means they're closing at 6 miles per hour. So how long will it take them to get towards each other? So, distance and time. So, 6 miles in 1 hour. We want to get to 9. Well, 6 doesn't go into 9, but 3 does. So I divide by 2. And so when I divide, I get to 3, and I get 0.5. Well, times 3 gives me 9, and half times 3 is 1.5, so 1.5 hours. Jada made a pot of chili with 48 ounces of beef and 2 tablespoons of chili powder. He made another pot of chili with the same amount of ground beef, but he used 3 times the amount of chili powder. And so, how many ounces of ground beef per tablespoon of chili powder did he use in the second pot of chili? So, beef and powder. So 48. So it was 48 and 2, but since it's 3 times as much, we do times 3 and get 6. Now, since it's per tablespoon of powder, we want to get this to be 1. So that means we divide by 6. So that's 8. So it's,
done, so I can turn his show on.
yeah, 8 to 1. I'm on the last question now. So 15
Turn your show on in a minute, honey.
inch pieces of ribbon from a 9 feet roll and 6 of these rolls. So that's 9 times 12 because there's 9 times 12 is 12 inches in a foot. And so that's 18, carry 1. And so that's 108 inches times 6. And so that's 50, that's 48, carry, and so that's 648. And then we just divide by 15. I didn't choose this question I didn't choose these numbers very well because it should have worked out evenly, and I apologize for that. And so 15 goes into 60 4 times with 4 left over. Bring down the 8. Goes in 3 times. And so 43 would be our answer. Now, in the actual test, it'll be a whole number, not a decimal, so it's the greatest number, and so that's it. Okay? Good luck, take your time, and good luck.